Ingress charts, my friends. Why is it that certain moments can actually shape our whole year ahead? Now, in the previous videos on this channel, we've explored what mundane astrology is and why cycles play such an important role in understanding world events. In this video, I'd like to introduce one of the cornerstones of mundane astrology, and that's ingress charts. I want to explain why certain moments in the year carry more weight than other moments. Well, first of all, what is an ingress? In astrology, an ingress occurs when a planet enters into a new zodiac sign. But in mundane astrology, we pay particular attention to the sun's ingresses into the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These are the seasonal points as well in tropical astrology. The ingress of a slow-moving outer planet into a new sign is also something that we like to look at, and the chart that creates. These moments symbolize shifts in tone, in emphasis, and direction. They act like seasonal markers for the collective experience. So as I've mentioned, there are 4 cardinal ingresses, and the sun's entry into these 4 cardinal signs mark key turning points in the year. First of all, the Aries ingress is very connected to beginnings, initiative, momentum. The Cancer ingress has to do with security, homeland, and the emotional climate of the time. The Libra ingress is all about diplomacy, balance, and alliances. And of course, the Capricorn ingress is all about authority and leadership and governance. Now, in traditional mundane astrology, these charts were cast for the capital city of a nation and read as maps for the season ahead. The Aries ingress is especially important. It holds really special significance, and it sets the tone for the entire astrological year. If the Aries ingress chart is particularly strong or volatile, its themes often echo throughout the months that follow. In some years, astrologers rely heavily on this single chart alone to understand the broader climate of a city. Or you could look at a nation, but remember, things are very heavily influenced by their location on the planet. So having a city to center things in, or a nation's capital, is really what we look at. So how are ingress charts interpreted? Well, they're not read like personal horoscopes. An astrologer will always consider the condition of the chart ruler, planets that are situated on the angles, and any strong configurations involving Saturn, Mars, or Pluto, often referred to as the malefic planets. Emphasis on particular houses related to leadership, economy, conflict, they'll also be looked at as well. And what emerges is not so much a prediction, but a symbolic overview of the pressures and the priorities. Now, with an outer planet's ingress chart and these longer cycles, slow-moving planets like Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto, when they change signs, it's often we're looking at things in terms of years of time in a sign. For example, Pluto can spend as much as 20 years or more in a single sign. So we're looking at long generational stretches by these outer planets. And these shifts into new signs in the tropical astrology is what I'm using, often correspond with structural changes in institutions or shifts in collective values and new ideological landscapes. And these effects, they aren't sort of as noticeable as like you've just lifted the curtain on a brand new stage play, but their effects unfold over years, as I've just described, through a generation in many cases, not a matter of days or moments, sometimes not even a matter of weeks. So ingress charts still matter today. Even in the modern world, they remain remarkably relevant because they help us to understand why certain themes dominate particular periods. They help us recognize when a year carries heavier or lighter collective weight. They place unfolding events into a much wider context, and they remind us that timing matters. It's everything. So on this channel, as we progress into mundane astrology, looking at the charts of the world, ingress charts are going to be used to frame monthly and seasonal forecasts, to understand shifts in global emphasis, and to track longer-term cycles alongside current events. And this is always done with the understanding that astrology describes the conditions, not necessarily the outcomes. So ingress charts mark moments when the collective narrative shifts. And by paying attention to these thresholds, we gain a clearer sense of where emphasis is moving and why certain periods feel more consequential than others. So I want to thank you, my friends, for watching and for continuing this exploration of world astrology with me.